the big news of the day in the NBA was Kristaps Porzingis is injured, Rob. And we saw him toward the end of game 2. Looked like he's some type of lower leg injury. And it turns out, now the medical term, nobody's going to really understand what it is. It's a torn medial retinaculum. Retinaculum. All right.
Can you call your wife? Is she around?
Right.
Let's have
I
a
need
doctor,
her to
please.
tell me what the heck this is. That allows for the dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg. From what I can gather, Rob, it's an ankle injury where he might actually be able to kind of go out there and play, but the chances of him really injuring the ankle badly because of this torn tendon are like really high. So it's kind of not worth it. And you heard Joe Mazzulla, the Celtics coach, say, look, we're taking it out of Kristaps' hands, Rob. They're going to let their doctors decide this. And I think that's right, Rob. Save him from himself.
The way that they sent Kevin Durant out there. Let the
it's a different
decide.
team, but those are the Warriors
No,
doctors.
but I'm just saying, like, that was the doctors, too, signing off on that.
But they don't want, like, he's going to want to play. He said he would go out there and die on the court. Obviously, it's just a figure of speech, but he said, I'll die out there. He's going to want to play through anything. And from my understanding, we can ask Dr. Chow, but this is the type of injury you might be able to go out there and run around and think you can play, but your chances of injuring it badly, much worse, are really high. So we'll get more from Chow. But here's the question I want to ask you, Rob, and let me give you these stats first. The Celtics were 21-4 in the regular season with Porzingis. Rob G, quickly, tell us what that means they were without him. And if you can get the percentages, because that's easier for the listeners to understand. In these finals, in the non-Porzingis minutes, there's been 52 of them. The score between the two teams, Rob, guess, in the 52 minutes they've played without Porzingis, Rob, guess what the score is between Boston and Dallas?
I don't know. What is it?
109-109. So he's big. Not just literally, but he's big for this team. So how do you think this, if he, I assume he's going to miss game 3, and very good chance he misses more. How do you think this, if he does miss, say, a game or two, how do you think this impacts the series?
I don't think it impacts it. I really don't. I like where the Celtics are. They played most of the postseason without him. It was a great lift. I said this the other day, Chris, that what Porzingis probably gave you in game 1 is probably he helped you win that game. Nobody knew what to expect. He came out 20 points, 20 minutes. He really helped them get off the schneid, start off great at home, set the tone. That really helped them. The Celtics had struggled in the postseason at home for the most part. Aren't they like 500 over the last few years at home? So that was a great start for them. And his contribution to this championship run, Chris, might be game 1. It really just might be game 1. I don't think it's like, oh, my God, they can't beat Dallas without him or anything like that. I really don't. And I'm not saying he's a zero. It doesn't matter. But they've played long enough without him. They played long enough without him to go undefeated at home on the road without him. They also were 12-2. He's important, but he's not the only reason they're going to win the title, or he's going to stop them from winning the title.
Yeah, I mean, look, they are better with him, that's for sure. And the records bear that out. In the regular season, Rob, they were 43-14 with him. That in and of itself, that's a 62 without him, I should say. Oh, no, Rob G. So they were better without him in the regular season?
That is correct.
Okay, yeah, so they're 43-14 with him, which is a 754 winning percentage. Not 21-4 without him, which is an 84% winning percentage.
I'm not.
So,
yeah.
But I do think it's a big loss. I don't think it means Dallas has control of the series and is definitely going to win. But I think it's a loss. This is a guy that's a 20-point scorer. This is a guy that has more block shots in the series than the entire Mavericks team combined. So, but we'll hear from Chow. But there are a lot of people, Rob, out there saying they think that, internet doctors saying they think he's out for the rest of the series. So we'll see what Chow says. But, 20.7 rebounds a night, that's what he gave you in the regular season. That's tough to miss. I will say this, Rob, because you and I both remember in 2016 when the Cavaliers came back with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving from a 3-1 deficit, became the only team ever to win the finals after falling behind 3-1. And when Draymond Green was suspended for Game 5, I remember I was there covering that series and thinking, man, that is just the shot in the arm that the Cavaliers needed. Because you figure, look, we get this Game 5, then we're going home, and now we got a good chance to even that thing up at home. And then it's a do or die Game 7, winner take all. And sure enough, that's obviously what happened. I don't think, Rob, like if I'm a Mavericks fan, I hope to God that they are not thinking that thing. I hope that they are not saying, Kristaps is out, we got a chance. Because, Rob, it's only 2-0. That's different than 3-1. And you lost 2 games on the road. So you're at home now. So far, I mean, Boston just did what it was supposed to do. You come home, do what you're supposed to do. You are still very much in this series. And I would hate to think as a Mavs fan, Rob, that the players are like, man, we really got a shot in the arm now that he's out, because that tells me you're feeling like you can't beat them with him. And so I hope that that's not their mentality, but we'll see. But I think this is an interesting development, and hopefully he can get back. You always want the best players playing, but hopefully he can get back.
Definitely. I just think, and it's no disrespect to him, Chris. Like I said, what he brought to this whole series was that Game 1. I thought, you watched. You didn't know what to expect, did you? I didn't.
No, you wouldn't. No idea. I don't think anybody knew what to expect, and you certainly wouldn't have expected that. 21 points.
And he put on a show and did what he had to do and set a tone early, and it just helped the Celtics cruise in that Game 1. Took a lot of pressure off of them, Chris. They struggle a lot in games. They lose a lot of home games. They could have. You remember, you thought if they're going to lose one, it would be the first game, and most people.
I thought they would lose game. Oh no, you might lose Game 2.
Yeah, because you did say
what
Game 1.
They had dropped that. Yeah,
and a lot of times teams can come in and steal Game 1. Though we've seen it.
Well, they almost gave it away to Indiana.
Right.
The Celtics. They were fortunate to get that.
But I mean, it's a bummer. You think you got your team together. You hate to lose anybody, but I think they're going to just press on. And the other thing that they have going for them is that Tatum hasn't played well. I mean, shot the ball well, I should say.
Right.
Because the other part of the game is good, the rebounding and all that other stuff, Chris. But the assists, but he hadn't shot the ball. What was he, 6 for 22? What was it?
Yes, in Game
6
2.
for 22. Come on.
He's shooting 31%.
Come on. He's too good to be shooting 6 for 22.
I agree.
He's gonna snap out of that. If he goes, Chris, 12 for 22, they're winning. 12 for 22.
What you got to do is, Drew has stepped up. Drew Holiday averaging about 7 more points in this series than he did in the regular season. And, Derek White is scoring a little bit more. So you got to shut down the other guys. If Tatum if he has a great game and the other guys do as well, you're obviously cooked.